Hi Sagittarius. This video is for Sagittarius Sun, Sagittarius Rising, and Sagittarius Moon. I'm Lateesha Bynum Hinton. I am here with your weekly horoscope for July the 29th through August the 4th. And so you will see me looking down. I have written out a little chart here for you. I've done that for each sign, and you'll see me looking down at what is happening in the sky for the days and looking at your chart to see exactly where that is going to affect you. Okay, so we start out the week with a lot of the energy that is just coming over from last week, and that is the Sun square Uranus, Uranus square Mars, and an opposition between the Sun and Mars. Okay, so for you, this is affecting you in your ninth house. The Sun is in Leo in your ninth house, along with Mercury in your ninth house, and Mars is in your third house of communication. Your ninth house is about long distance travel, legal matters, and higher education. The third house for you is about, third house period, not just for you. The third house is about siblings, communication, short distance travel. Okay, so you have this opposition here between the Sun and Mars. So the universe is asking you to look at your communication, possibly with your siblings. There may be some issues of arguments and so forth going on right now between your siblings, cousins, close neighbors that are like family to you. And then, you know, whenever there's an opposition, we have to realize that typically there is a mirror effect going on. So what we are seeing from others is what we are giving out a lot of times. So with the Sun here in the ninth house, there may be some issues of communication with professors or the courts. You know, the ninth house is about legal matters. So you may have legal issues going on, and then there's some frustration within you because perhaps they're responding to you in a frustrated way, you know, angry way, Mars, angry. And you know, perhaps this is causing a lot of the ill feelings that you may have. If there is long distance travel or short distance travel involved, you know, it may be some anger or frustration that you may have with the people that you are dealing with and setting up the travel. This could show up in this way. Okay, and then with the Sun squaring Uranus, Sun in the ninth, Uranus is in your sixth house of daily activities. Okay, so Uranus in the sixth house is all about your daily activities, your routines, your daily routines. It is about your health. Okay, so Uranus coming in here is bringing a lot of change to that. And then with the square to the Sun, you know, it could be that you need to go for some higher education. Gemini, you'll find the same thing is said in Gemini, because Sagittarius and Gemini are opposite signs. So this is the universe coming in and asking you to go ahead and perhaps get some higher education. Change is coming in your daily activity. You know, what you like to do, what you like to eat, or you know, what your daily routine is. There is change that is coming in here. And then there's a frustration within yourself. Squares bring a frustration, internal frustration. So with the square here, the Sun in the ninth house, you feel that you need to do something different. So with that frustration, with daily work, maybe you feel that if your health is in question, you feel that you need some education. You need to probably go talk to a nutritionist to change the effects that is happening regarding your health. Okay, If it's legal issues, you may go and talk to an attorney to get educated on what is happening and the best way to deal with the legal issue that has come up. Okay, so those are just a few things that could be happening with this particular square. And then Uranus squaring Mars, again, your daily activity and your communication. So, it's all working together. So there's a frustration here between your daily work. There's a quick change that's happening in your daily work, a sudden change. And then it just brings up this frustration. And there's a need for freedom that needs to happen for you in your daily activity. And so you find that you want to communicate that, and you may communicate that in an angry way because Mars is here. But keep in mind that the energies are happening around us, but we can still control ourselves. Okay, so we may just need to take some time to breathe, think about it, process what changes we want to make, because a lot of times when we say words, we can't take them back. We can say sorry, but sorry doesn't always work. So we want to be cognizant of what we are saying and how we are saying it, and use the very best language that is not in anger. And even if we feel angry on the inside, oftentimes it's best to be diplomatic. It has a better result later on, Okay? All right. And then, so, always keep in mind that karma is always there. Giving back what you've given out. That's one of the best lessons that I have ever learned. All right. So then on Monday, July the 30th, we have Jupiter coming into a beautiful trine with Neptune. Jupiter is in Scorpio and Neptune is in Pisces. Okay, so for you, Sagittarius, Jupiter is in your 12th house of your subconscious, expanding your spiritual ideas, your ideas on spirituality, your ideas on the collective and how we are all interconnected, expanding that. And then Pisces is in your 4th house. Okay, so this is home, your area of home. So home could be your internal self, or home could be the house that you live in or the apartment that you live in. 4th house also represents your family of origin. Okay, so with this beautiful trine, you are having an opportunity to take what it is that you call home inside of you and began to realize on the deepest levels, this expansion of our humanness. It's in Scorpio, so it could be an expansion of occult knowledge, expansion in your understanding of astrology or tarot. This is something that could be coming in here. But you feel so good about it. You feel very settled about it in your emotions. Okay? And then we have the moon with an inconjunct to the sun. And inconjunct is when two planets are communicating with each other, and it's a difficult communication. They don't understand each other. There's like a miscommunication between the two planets. So with the moon in Pisces in your 4th house and the sun in Leo in your 9th house, there is an uneasiness that you feel about perhaps some legal issues. Maybe there are some issues regarding your mother in higher education, or there could be an issue where you want to get the deed for your home, but then there is a legal matter. There is some kind of an issue coming in where you are unable to get that, or that's just one of the ways that could show up. Okay, so something to do with the house and legal matters. Or if it is you, the internal you, yourself, there could be an uneasy feeling about going to school, going for higher education. Maybe you applied and a female in authority maybe mistreated you, maybe didn't give you the right information so that you could be enrolled in school for your bachelor's degree or higher. All right, these are just a couple of ways that this could show up for you. Okay, it could also show up in immigration issues. Maybe somebody trying to come into another country, but then their mother is not allowed to come. There's a holdup, a legal issue about that. Okay, so those are just a few things that could be a part of that. And then on the 31st, that's Tuesday, July the 31st, we have Saturn in a trine with Uranus. And Saturn is in Capricorn and Uranus is in Taurus. So Saturn for you is in your second house of income that you earn, of your self-worth, your self-value. Okay, so Saturn is here. And then Uranus is in Taurus in the sixth house of your daily activity. So on this day you are feeling very grounded about the changes that have transpired or are transpiring with your daily activity. Perhaps you landed a new job. Perhaps somebody called you and said, hey, we have a position, and it goes well. You had the great interview and you got the job. You know, this is how this could play out, okay? Because it is about a swift change, but it's a good change because it's in a good aspect to Saturn, and Saturn helps manifest and helps ground what it is that we are trying to do. Okay, so this is something that you could see coming in here. Okay, and then we have on the same day, on July the 31st, Tuesday, we have Venus in Virgo in an opposition to the moon in Pisces. All right, Venus is all about what you feel you deserve. Okay, and love and beauty. All right, and she is in an opposition to the moon. The moon represents the mother. The moon represents comfort and feeling safe. All right, so Virgo for you is in your 10th house. Okay, in your 10th house, and then your 4th house is in Pisces. So with Neptune, with Uranus in the 10th house, with Venus in your 10th house in opposition to Neptune, there could be some confusion for you about your career, about your place in the world, where you feel you should be, what you feel you should be doing in the world. This could come in at this time. In addition to home, you know, you may want to go out in the world and accomplish, you know, XYZ, become an astronaut or something, a brain surgeon or something fantastic. But then home, you feel that maybe if you leave home, it won't be well for home. You may need to stay. You know, you may not see things clearly. You may or you could be so busy at work, you know, accomplishing, building an empire, but then at home you don't see how they need you. You don't see how your children need you or your wife needs you, or your mom needs you. But then, so the universe is asking you to balance, to have a balance, to see things clearly. And you might not be able to see things clearly until the opposition is over, but this is an area where some problems could arise. Okay. All right. And then on Wednesday, August the 1st, we have Mercury in conjunct Pluto. And Mercury is in Leo retrograde, and Pluto is in Capricorn. So Capricorn for you is your second house, and then Mercury is in your ninth house, okay, in a retrograde status. So with this in conjunction, there is miscommunication between these two planets. And for you, this has to do with your income, and it has to do with what you are learning or legal issues. Okay, so Mercury, the planet of communication, there are power struggles. Okay, Pluto is about power, Mercury is about communication. Mercury is retrograde right now, so with him being retrograde and an inconjunct on top of this, there is bound to be miscommunication. So if you are someone who is in the legal profession, you may be talking to someone about your pay and saying, I don't feel that I'm being paid enough. This is not what was agreed upon. I'm not making enough income. If you are a professor, you could be saying the same thing. You may be traveling a long distance for a job, and you were told you were going to be paid a certain amount of money, but then once you got there, the money that they promised you is not there. And so you're trying to communicate with someone and nobody's understanding you, and it's just a bunch of miscommunication and nothing being resolved. So that's how this could show up. This is just some examples. Okay, then we have the moon. Okay, no, then we'll go to the next day, August 2nd, August the 3rd, I'm sorry, no, August the 2nd, Thursday, August 2nd, we have the moon in conjunction with Jupiter. All right, the moon is in Aries, and that is in your 5th house of children, creativity. Okay, so we have the moon there, and falling in love. Okay, the 5th house rules falling in love with somebody new. Jupiter is in Scorpio in your 12th house. So here, with the moon is all about comfort. The moon in the 5th house and then the 12th in conjunct, it could be that somebody that you have fallen in love with, somebody you're dating. Maybe you overestimated how they felt about you. Maybe you overestimated the level of comfort that you thought that they brought you, and it comes to your realization that that's not the case, right? That they are not necessarily as benevolent as you thought that they were. This could show up in a way as far as your creativity is concerned, or if you are a mother, you may find that you have fears that are exacerbated about your children, or fears about your mother that come up, fears about your childhood that come to the surface with Jupiter and Scorpio and this in conjunction and the moon. So these are things that could definitely show up with this energy. All right, and then we have Venus in conjunct the moon on Friday, August the 3rd. We have Venus in conjunction with the moon. Venus is in Virgo, and Virgo is in your 10th house. Virgo's in your 10th house of career. And then the moon is in Aries in your 5th house. So we talked about that with the moon being in the 5th house. So with the Venus in conjunction, and this is where the two planets just don't understand each other, you possibly are feeling, if it was that story about you fell in love with someone and you thought that they were going to be more than what they turned out to be. This could be the sadness that comes along with realizing that you're not going to marry this person. 10th house is about your reputation in the world, status in the world. So maybe you thought you guys were going to get married, take the relationship to the next level, which would change your status from a single person to a married person, but then it didn't happen. Okay, so if it's not that, then it could be that your children, you had hoped that your child would get into a certain career, go down a certain career path, and then they didn't. They went a whole other way, and it really hurt you, really saddened you, made you feel dis-ease in your heart and your emotions. Okay, all right, so these are just a couple of ways that could show up. And then we have on Saturday, August the 4th, we have Pluto in a trine with the moon. So we have Pluto in Capricorn and the moon is in Taurus. So Capricorn is in your second house, okay, of income and your self-worth and self-value. And then the moon is in Taurus, and Taurus is in your sixth house of your daily activity. So with Pluto coming in here, or Pluto meeting up in a good way with the moon, this brings you a lot of ease about your daily activity. You feel good about what you're doing. You feel empowered. Maybe you received an increase in your income and you feel empowered. You feel like you are doing on a day-to-day basis what you want to be doing, and it brings you the greatest joy. It brings you so much empowerment and a beautiful transformation for you. Pluto is about transformation and power. Okay, so that is a way that could show up for you. And then we have, lastly, the Sun in Leo, and this is on August 4th, Saturday. We have the Sun in Leo in a square to the moon in Taurus. Okay, so the Sun is in Leo in your ninth house. Okay, and so the way that this could play out is that you realize that you need higher education to earn more money, to do what it is that you want to do, to be in the career that you want to be in, to maybe you need higher education in order to lose weight. You need some more education about that. You need more education maybe about immigration issues, or maybe this is you're in your country and you feel that being there is so frustrating for you and in the life that you have to live daily. So you begin to work hard so that you can leave that country and go to another country where you feel more comfortable, where you feel that your daily activities will be what you want them to be. Okay, so this is another way that this could show up here. All right, my name is Lateesha Bynum Hinton. Thank you so much, Sagittarius, for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel, like and share my videos. Okay, and if you would like to have a personal reading from me, you can find me at LateeshaBynumHinton.com. I will be glad to do that for you. Please remember that the universe is always conspiring to bless you, no matter what. All right, thank you.